Hi friends, my name is Anuradha and in this lecture I'll be taking you through steps to connect AWS EC2 Linux instance, and as part of this we will be following steps already listed on my blog qamilestone.com. So what we'll be doing in this lecture is we'll be downloading utilities like PuTTY, PuTTYgen, WinSCP, we'll create free tier account in AWS, and we'll launch EC2 instance using PPK format key generated by PuTTYgen. So let's get started. So let me go to my post and it says I have to download PuTTY and PuTTYgen from this link. I'll download this. I've already downloaded 64-bit Windows installer, and also down there is a PuTTYgen and I have already downloaded PuTTYgen.exe. Alright, so you can download and run installer, and once you download you will have these utilities available on your machine. Okay, so PuTTYgen is a utility which is used for converting SSH key to PPK key, and PuTTY is a utility which is used for connecting, which is used for doing SSH and telnet to a client. Okay, so I have PuTTY and PuTTYgen on my machine. All right, now let's move to next step. Then I have create free tier account in AWS and AWS login. Okay, so you can create an AWS account, free tier account from here, and there are certain steps where you are required to fill certain details and verify your phone number, and you are also required to add your credit card, but it will not be used for an year, so don't worry about that. So just create a free tier account and log in. Okay, so I already have my free tier account, so I'll log in into my account. So for the first time it will ask for your username and password. I'm already there, and then it will present you with a dashboard. Okay, this kind of dashboard, and what we have to do, we have to work with this EC2 instance. Now is the time to launch EC2 instance. Okay, so for that we have to click on EC2 instance. Okay, so if you don't in the beginning you won't have any running instance. Since I have already launched one instance, so it shows me this data that I have running instance 1, which is using 1 volume, and I have generated key pair 3 key pairs so far. You will all have all these as 0 when you are logging in and launching for the first time. So to launch an instance we have to go to instances. So as you go to instances you will see what all instances are running on your machine. I'll just terminate this instance. I don't want to use this. Okay, so let me launch new instance. Now you can launch this instance. As you see, there are already listed instances and it tells you which is your free tier and which is not free tier. And right now we are talking about Amazon Linux, and so we will launch Amazon Linux free tier account. Okay, and as you move it tells you about different kinds of configuration for Amazon Linux which you can launch. It also lists what is free, so obviously I'll be choosing the free instance and I'll move to configure instance details. For now I'll not be configuring any details over here, and I'll review and launch. So let's launch this. When I launch, it asks me for selecting key pair. Okay, so I already have key pair created, so it gives me by default this option, choose an existing key pair. But for new users it will give an option, create a new key pair, and you can create new key pair. Okay, and download it. Make sure you save the downloaded key to some safe location which you remember. Once it is downloaded, you can go and launch instance. You can go to launch instance, which is getting launched, and it takes you back to this window where you have different details associated with your instance. And the important point to note is this IPv4 address, and also one thing to note about it is view inbound rows in security group. By default, it has 22 port enabled for SSH from the local host. Okay, so that implies that you will be able to do SSH using port 22, which is a default port for SSH from your local machine. In case you want to open any other port which you will be required when you install any application and there are port requirement, you need to edit these security groups. We already have this. We don't need to do anything with this. All we need to make a note of is this IP address. Okay, now let's launch PuTTYgen. So when you launch PuTTYgen, you are presented with this window. You have to go to conversions, import key, and then you have to go to the location where you have saved your key. Select your key. Once you select your key, it will convert. So for me, it has converted very soon. But what you have to do, you have to keep on moving your mouse to convert this key to PPK format. And then finally, you have to save key. And then you will be presented with some warning. You press yes and you can save your key on some location. Next thing is to connect to PuTTY, and here you have to specify IP address. See, here the default port is 22. You may want to save session so that you don't have to follow these steps again and again. So you can say my new session or my anything, my PuTTY session, whatever. Okay, and then you have to go to SSH auth, and here you have to provide this key. Okay, and I saved it here somewhere as new key. It will accept PPK format. Let's get back to session and you can save this session. Okay, it will save your session. And let's go to click on open. It will give you security alert. Let's give user EC2 user, and here you are. So congratulations, you are connected to your EC2 instance. Let me create one directory over here. Let me name it as anything. Okay, and so the point here is once we are connected to our AWS instance, it might be required that we need to transfer some file from Windows to Linux. In the case like we need to transfer some code. For that, we need to use WinSCP utility. So for WinSCP utility, you can download WinSCP utility from here. And I already have got WinSCP utility on my machine. So I'll just indicate how you can use that. It's quite simple. Okay, I don't want to upgrade it. So it will present you with this window where you again have to enter the IP address of your instance, and again the port is 22, and you can specify username over here, which is EC2 user, and go to advanced, and here in SSH authentication again upload this key, which is new key again, PPK format, and then you're done. Okay, and press on login. Again press yes. So on the left side you have your own machine, local machine, and on the right side you have instance. So you can simply transfer any file from here to here. Okay, let's go to instance again. Let me see if my file is transferred. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is how you connect to AWS Linux instance, and this is how you transfer file. I hope the session was useful to you. Thank you so much.